So I figured I would do a review on the OSP Matrix just because I'm like the only one that has one right now. Keep in mind while I do this review that this is a prototype version. The blade is 440C, a drop point, where the blades that he's going to be shipping out are, I believe, what, S35VN? But don't quote me on that, I could be wrong. I don't know my blade steels very well. So a couple of things that I wanted to point out on this knife. The balance point is right here on this little like cross beam thing. So you can see it's perfectly balanced right there, which is pretty cool. I'm a terrible flipper, by the way, so don't judge me by my flipping. Don't judge this knife by my flipping. Also, I'm not biased. I did work with Jay to obtain this knife. I put about 50 hours into work on his website. I created that for him. By the way, it is ospballet.com if you want to check it out. But like, as I said, I put 50 hours into it. If I'm not happy with the knife, I'm going to say so. But I actually am really happy with this knife. Right now, it's my favorite flipper. I can't really say I can compare it to anything else because I can't. I've never quite flipped anything that feels like this. It feels good though. Oops. It's weighted very evenly. Like as I said, the balance point's right there. It feels like the momentum carries very well because of the Z-axis taper. For those of you who don't know what a Z-axis taper is, I'll demonstrate that for you really quick. This is my Vantac speeder, which is up for sale right now, regrettably. I do love this knife. Its tolerances are like perfect. Like there's zero play, zero tap. So I'll put the Matrix behind the Vantac really quick just to show this off. As you can see, right about at the pivots, they're about the same size, but the Matrix extends upward towards that end of the handles, and that gives it a nice bit of end weight to carry the momentum through your flipping with a knife, which I think is really nice. Another thing that I wanted to mention, I've dropped this thing probably 100 times already, and it still has perfect tolerances. Like, here, I'll show you the play. No, another thing really quick. This blade is a little bit, weird, to say the least, where it does make the handles kind of, like, this one's a little higher up, or sorry, this one's a little higher up than the other one. But Jay's going to fix that. He's going to be sending me probably a Tonto blade, I would assume, in the near future. He just wanted to get this out to me because I did do all the work on his website for him. Tolerances, though, from the factory, I've done zero work on this, and, like, I'm pulling hard on these handles right now, and practically nothing is happening. There's zero tap. Nothing. I love the sound of this knife. Like, if I can get it to kind of click a little bit while I do this. It's like a titanium clang. It's not quite like the clack like you get with the BRS products. I actually like it more than the sound of my rep. So that's just that for comparison. And again, I don't know, I just think that sounds different. Similar to a JK design, from what I've heard in videos on people's Instagram profiles anyway. Now, I do think another controversial thing that I saw on the Reddit regarding OSP is that this knife is way overpriced, but personally I don't think it is. I'll leave that up to you guys when you get it in your hands, but it does feel very premium. It's very unique, in my opinion, the most unique belly that the community has had in a very, very long time. That's not including customs like JK Designs, because I'm not gonna lie, the missionary is like, that's my grail right there. This is probably number 2. Oops. No offense, Jay. There's nothing wrong with this knife whatsoever. I just love the styling of JK Designs harpoons. Harpoon blades are my favorite. So I don't know what else to mention about this knife. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be happy to answer them. As far as I know, he should be shipping out pretty soon, so you guys will get your hands on these. I just wanted to get this review out before the general public had their hands on him. Also, he is doing a pass-around. So if you go to ospbally.com, there is a pass-around application. As long as you have references, he's selecting 10 people randomly off the list of people that apply. So if you wanted to get your hands on one of these, but you don't have like $600 to $800 to shell out right now, which I can imagine most of you don't, that is an option for you, and I'd say it's a good one. But yeah, like, oh, the weight of it too. I wanted to mention the weight. It's lighter than a Van Tack. I don't have a scale, so I can't directly compare it, but it feels roughly the same as a Rep, maybe a little bit lighter. Ooh, that was bad. Let's try that again. That was also bad. Well, that's okay. Anyway, yeah, again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me, and I'll let you know. Being 100% honest here. No bias whatsoever. Keep in mind I'm not the greatest flipper in the world, so you guys that are more experienced than me, you'll probably want to get your hands on it yourself. Don't take my word for it. Just from my experience so far, this is something that I'm confident in everyday carrying, just because the build quality and the construction of this knife is insane. Like, I don't want to throw it on the ground because I don't want to risk tipping it, but like, I've dropped this on concrete. There's nothing that happened to this. Like, it didn't get any looser, no scratches on the ano, nothing like that. So, heck, take what I say with a grain of salt if you want. These are just my opinions, my initial first impressions. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully this enlightened you a little bit on whether you want to purchase this knife or not. I do recommend it. Also, I apologize for doing the same combos over and over and over again. I don't know anything else. Oh, the texture. I forgot to mention the texture. Sorry, this video is gonna be all over the place. So the texture doesn't really impede fanning too much, and it does drastically help. I say that and then I drop it right away. It drastically helps with the grip on choker fanning, and it helps with grip on the knife overall. I think the texture is a really unique thing. Nobody else, well, I shouldn't say nobody else, like the EX10 has texture. But to have it standard on a Bally that's at least somewhat reasonably priced, like EX10s, like I know Rotten Ground EX10s are going for like $1,200 right now, something like that. For something that you can get for between $650 and what is it, $800. It's a really nice thing. I know it adds like 2 hours of machining time to each knife individually, By the way, these are produced individually. Like, he mills them out one by one. It's a process that does take quite some time to complete. So that, I'm not trying to justify the price or anything, but it does take a long time for these to be complete, and he is a perfectionist. Like, these things are gonna be shipped with perfect tolerances. They're gonna perform well. It is his first belly, so I can understand if those of you who are skeptical, but honestly, like, this is up there with companies that have been around forever, in fact, like, better than some. So yeah, hopefully one of you guys will get your hands on it, someone that's more experienced with flipping than I am with the pass around. You can see some other reviews. So, to finalize, those are just my opinions. And that should be everything that I wanted to cover. Nice. Anyway, have a good day.